Hello and welcome at last to the final of Only Connect. Very exciting night. Before we start, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who works behind the scenes here on the quiz, often without acknowledgement, like Gethin, who operates the scoreboard, painstakingly updating the computer every time a contestant scores a point. Now, I've looked through the questions for tonight's final, and Gethin, you can take the night off. But you never know, because we've got two brilliant teams here, both of whom have faced terrifying opposition to get to the final. So let's say congratulations and hello again to... On my right, Paul Steeples, a civil servant and classical music aficionado with an interest in architectural art. William Diath, a maths graduate and business analyst with a passion for motorbikes. And their captain, David Lee, a political risk analyst and accomplished linguist who enjoys rugby and cricket. They have beaten the editors, the technologists and the trade unionists to win a place in the final. They are the Analysts. You've had some very tough opposition. Who do you think your hardest competitors were?
Well, as you say, they were all pretty close games, so I'm tempted to be boring and say all of them, but I won't. I will pick out the technologists, because they were very tough opposition. They were lightning fast on the buzzer, and we were very pleased to squeak by them by a single point.
Are there any areas of knowledge you're hoping won't come up tonight?
I'm hoping not to pick the picture round out, let's just say that.
Well, it's a 5-to-1 shot. Tonight you are facing, on my left, Simon Belcher, a science communications graduate and enthusiastic collector of old maps. Debbie Chalice, a UCL academic who enjoys visiting 19th century ruins and reading Gothic novels. And their captain, Will Howells, a digital media manager, composer of the brilliant Only Connect Dolphin song with an interest in Edwardian theatre. They've met the fantasy footballers, the social networkers and the listeners on their journey and beaten them all, of course. They are the Antiquarians. Dolphins to you. How are the Antiquarians feeling ahead of the final?
We started off relaxed, then we were nervous, now we're excited, and at the end of the show we'll know what the last in the sequence is.
It's not going to be an easy quiz tonight. It's not going to be an easy round one. Nevertheless, we have to play it. It's in the rules. I just want to know, teams, what's the connection between 4 apparently random clues? Simple as that. Antiquarians, you won the toss, so you will be going first. Which question would you like?
Eye of Horus, please.
Eye of Horus. Good luck. Your first clue is coming up now.
Capsule on the London Eye. Well, they're replacing them at the moment, and they're kind of egg-shaped things that they rotate in time with the way the wheel turns. They're on the outside.
Okay. Next.
It's not got tram things up it. It's not the same kind of car, is it?
Oh, what, like a sort of funicular railway kind of thing?
Next.
The next one.
Seats row on Lufthansa planes. Any idea? They don't have a 13. They don't have. There's no 13th Avenue. There's no 13th Road. There's no 13th
I
Capsule.
would be right, yeah.
Can we take the last one, or should we go for it?
I think go for it.
There's no number 13.
You're absolutely right. The last clue would have been 1 Canada Square. There's no 13th floor there. No 13th capsule on the London Eye. There are 32 of them, but they're numbered 1 to 33, with no 13. Avenue in San Francisco, between 12th and 14th, they usually give them a name. And on Lufthansa, no 13th row. Well done, you're off the blocks with 2 points. Your turn, Analysts, to pick a question.
2 reads, please.
Oh, I'm afraid it's bad news. Analysts, this is going to be picture clues. The first one is coming up now.
Justice. That's a tarot card of justice. Or...
OK. All right, next, please.
Or equalisation. Or union.
OK. Next, please. Justice.
Jack. We can go next. Pitch.
Next, please.
5 seconds.
The right way up.
I'm afraid you're out of time, so there's a possible bonus for the Antiquarians.
We think they're bad or unlucky if they're upside down.
You're absolutely right. Luck is the theme again. These are things held to be unlucky if upside down. Do you know what the first picture is?
Tarot card.
That one specifically, the Justice card. If it's upside down, then it's supposed to mean an injustice. What about a Union flag?
Ship in distress is told it should fly its Union flag upside down, I think.
If it's upside down, that's a signal of distress. A horseshoe If you hang that upside down, the luck falls out. Some people actually think that's lucky because the luck falls on you. What are these people, fools? Obviously, that's very unlucky. And the thumbs down, that's a bad sign as well. They all mean something bad when upside down. Very well done. You're the right way up at the moment. Which question would you like?
The twisted flax, please.
Your first clue is coming up now.
June the 4th. Dennis, you want to think of something? So I can't think of anything.
Go for next.
Next. Reform through Labour. Is that a slogan for some? Are they political parties like June the 4th?
June the 4th is not a Labour thing or...
Next.
Or
No,
socialist
I
thing.
don't think so.
Falun Gong are the cult. They're trying to overthrow government. Next.
Oh, aren't they parties?
Political parties.
Too bad independence.
They're
What
all-
names of parties?
Are they all in China? They're all Chinese political parties.
Yeah, they could be political.
Are there that many
Is
in
Falun Gong in
China?
China? Yeah. I think it can't just be
I'd
political.
guess that.
5 seconds.
No.
Chinese political parties.
That is not what they are, so there's a bonus chance for you now, analysts.
Chinese dissident.
Ban the Chinese dissident movements.
That's not it either. You're both in the right area. These are search terms on the internet banned by China.
Okay.
Falun Gong is a belief system banned in China, and the Tibet independence movement is, of course. Reform through labour is a controversial practice. It's a sort of hard labour practice by the Chinese. Now, what about June the 4th? Why would that be banned?
Tiananmen Square.
June the 4th was the date of the 1989 protests in Tiananmen Square. Analysts, your turn to pick a question.
Lion, please.
Your first clue coming up now.
This load in the 80, he died, yes. No, he didn't.
Next, please.
About the same time.
Was he born outside Ireland?
He was born outside Ireland, yes. He was born in the US, that's why he didn't get in.
Should we go for that?
Do you want to try it? Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's go for it. Leaders of their countries who were born outside the country.
That is exactly the connection. Country leaders born outside the countries they led. Can you tell me about the two clues you saw?
Bonner was born in Canada, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
He was and was, of course, a briefly serving British Prime Minister.
Indeed. And Dev was born in the US.
The Irish Taoiseach was actually born in America, and we would have seen Julia Gillard from Australia, but actually born here in Wales. And Adolf Hitler, of course, Austrian. Well done, then. Coming in after just 2 clues, you get 3 points. Back to the Antiquarians.
Water, please.
Right, what is the connection here? First clue coming up now.
DYE becomes like something the letters change. Next. Becomes tied in language thing. It looks like it's something to do with the letters. If they all move one along on the keyboard.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is. The first word becomes the second word if you move it one letter to the right on a typewriter keyboard.
Brilliant work. This is a very tough question. If you retype all of these words one key to the right, they become the next one. We would have seen, I think my favourite clue in this one, waxier becomes escort, sweet becomes dairy. Yes, retype them one key to the right, that's what they become. Very good for 3 points. Back to you, analysts. And there's only one question remaining, of course. The music question. You are going to be hearing some musical clues starting now.
Like Susie, yeah.
Okay. Next, please.
Every time you kiss me, I'm still not certain that you love me.
Suspicion. Yeah. Suspicion torments my heart, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still not certain
Go for it.
that
No, there wasn't an answer.
Okay. Next, please. Elevation. What's the Susie song? Next, please.
3 seconds.
Hitchcock film.
The titles of those songs are also the titles of Alfred Hitchcock films. Very well done. What did you hear?
Susie and the Banshees was the first one, was it?
I weren't sure about that, but...
The song's called Spellbound.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
of course.
Suspicion.
Elvis Presley's Suspicion.
Elevation.
By U2.
Oh,
Not
Vertigo.
Elevation.
Vertigo
Was
was
it?
the
Okay.
name of the song.
And, sorry, yes, and Notorious.
Notorious.
Notorious by Duran Duran. All share their titles with Hitchcock movies. Very well done. Right, looking at the scores at the end of round 1 of the final. The analysts have got 4 points, but the antiquarians are ahead with 6. Round 2 is about sequences, of course. There are still 4 clues, but the teams may see a maximum of 3 because I want to know what comes fourth in the sequence. Antiquarians, you'll be going first again. Which question would you like?
It will be Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. OK. What do you think is fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
They make something. Next. The Merchants of Yonkers are these different...
There's different
sequences for a sequence of some sort.
Shakespeare.
The next. The matchmaker. Are they particular adaptations of...
I do know what the sequence is there.
There's something will be there made.
10 seconds.
We will.
What could be the last? Merchants of Yonkers.
3 seconds. No. Analysts, do you want to have a go for a bonus point?
Fiddler on the Roof.
No, that's not right, but why do you say so?
We think there's some sort of Jewish Yiddish connection.
I think you probably had the right idea. They are successive adaptations of the same work. If I tell you that Eine Nux will sich machen is a play by Johann Nestroy, it's translated as He Will Go on a Spree. Thornton Wilder adapted this into The Merchant of Yonkers. He then adapted it again into The Matchmaker, and that story was turned by Jerry Herman into a musical, Hello, Dolly.
Dolly, yeah.
Hello, Dolly. They are successive adaptations of the same story. No points there, then, but analysts, you may choose your own question.
Lion, then, please.
I can't tell you anything good here, I'm afraid, analysts. You're going to be seeing some pictures. What would you expect to see in the fourth picture? The first one is coming up now.
OK. Next, please. Oh, hang on. It's a football man. Steen. Busby. Scottish. There's European football managers. So Steen, Busby, Paisley. Fagan. Oh, does somebody else went after Busby before? Oh, Clough. Yeah. OK.
10 seconds.
Can I see the next one or not?
Yeah.
Clough.
It must be Clough, mustn't it? Brian Clough.
A picture of a clough.
A picture of what?
A clough.
A clough. A clough being...
A sort of...
I'm not quite sure.
I'm toying with you like a cat with a mouse, as I so enjoy, especially at the final stage. I am going to give you the points. British winning managers of the European Cup. The first picture is Stein for Jock Steen, Busby then for Matt Busby, and then Paisley, that's Bob Paisley. Bob Paisley actually won it twice, so I would have accepted Paisley if you'd said it again, but I was hoping for somebody who shared a name with Brian Clough. We went with Clough Williams-Ellis, who is, of course...
Design Portmeirion.
Design Portmeirion. You get 3 points. Very well done. Back to the Antiquarians to choose a question.
2 reads.
2 reads. First in a sequence is going to be shown to you, and I want to know what's fourth. Time starts now.
Main sequence star. I hope it's not just the sequence of stars. Should we take... Or is it a letter? What's the letter? No, next. Next sequence. Getting bigger?
I'd say white dwarf is probably...
As in they go from a main sequence to a red supergiant, then they have a super...
Yeah.
What?
So,
Should we take the next one first?
Go white dwarf.
You sure?
I think we need to take this. I will get killed if we get it wrong, but...
Right, because it could be black hole, could it?
No.
So you won't get white dwarf?
Yeah.
OK, you'll be astronomy GCSE. Simon, who is doing astronomy GCSE, says that it's a white dwarf, so I'm going to trust him.
You're not doing it soon, are you? I'm afraid that's not the answer. Possible bonus to the analysts. You may see the third in the sequence. And can you tell me what's fourth?
Well, if it's large enough, it will collapse to... It depends how big it is. It's either a neutron star or a black hole, depending on the size of the star involved. Black hole.
I'm going to accept it. We actually went with neutron star, but you're right, it could be either. These are stages in the life cycle of a massive star or a large sun, and so I'm going to give you the points for black hole. You're doing, what, astronomy GCSE?
At Greenwich.
That's rather brilliant. This is the sort of contestant we like. They do voluntary GCSEs in astronomy. I'm now feeling in a very good mood. Bonus points to you then, analysts, and you may pick your own question.
Twisted Flax, please.
The Twisted Flax, first in a sequence, coming up now.
Next, please. Next, please.
Seconds.
Okay.
Three seconds.
TWS equals 10.
I'm afraid that's not the answer. So now it's the Antiquarians who have the chance of a bonus.
TWS equals 5.
You're both wrong. That's amazing, because it is TWS, but TWS equals 8, and I will tell you why. This is to do with Scrabble. Double letter scores, there are 24 of them on a Scrabble board. Double word scores, there are 17. Triple letter scores, there are 12. And triple word scores, there are 8. You both went TWS without knowing why.
Well, it was DLS, DWS, TLS, TWS.
TW, yeah.
Makes no sense to me at all. Lucky I'm not on either of the teams. Right, Antiquarians, your turn to choose a question.
Horned Viper.
The Horned Viper, first in a sequence coming up now.
That is in Civilization, the game Civilization, the stages of...
Could be that, or it could be...
Or just in the stages
model.
Next.
Is it not what Marx calls the stages of civilization?
what are the
I'd go for the
stages?
next one. Anyway.
Next.
Socialism, and then he says it's Marxism or it's communism, isn't it?
This one?
Well, that's what, yeah, that's, he calls it a feudal state.
Okay,
Calls a state.
so they communism.
Yeah, unless you think something else.
Communism.
This is Marx's analysis of a society's development moving inexorably towards communism. After that, of course, the McDonald's era. And the final question will go to the analysts. It's water.
Yeah.
What would be the fourth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Where's that?
Next, please.
Are we moving down Central America? We don't know where that is.
Okay.
What? Next one.
Next, please. Oh, this is terrible.
Bloody
I should know. I should know all this.
They're not states, are they?
Well, that's Illinois got first.
Well, that's not any obvious sequence, is
It's
it?
not right.
No
That's
idea.
red.
5 seconds.
The flag of Panama or something.
The flag of Panama.
I believe your teammate told you to say the flag of Panama or something.
Yes, I did.
It is the flag of Panama. Why is it?
We think it's moving down Central America, one coast or t'other, but I'm not sure which one.
That's exactly what it is. It's countries in the Isthmus of Central America moving south. I didn't think you were going to get that at all, then you suddenly did. Well done. At the end of round 2, then, the Antiquarians have got 8 points, but the analysts, despite several picture questions, have got 10. Time for a fiendish final connecting wall, and if you're feeling spiky, you can play it simultaneously at home. But the analysts will be playing it first here. I'm going to offer you the choice, lion or water.
Lion, please.
OK, you have got 2.5 minutes to solve the wall, starting now.
So we've got Pope.
Pope. Was he deposed or something?
I'm not sure. There's somebody who was deposed.
Jack Farouk was deposed as well.
Okay.
Would you say was
Is the
pious?
name was
Quite pious, maybe?
Were any popes deposed then?
Serpico.
there you go.
Serpico is a...
There's a film.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the true crime was, because Zodiac was that thing
Okay.
about the son of Sam.
Blow.
Precious was based on a true story. Blow possibly was.
So's Buster, though, actually. Try Zodiac now, here.
Okay. We've left Buster out, so...
Oh, yes, that's a coin. That's a coin.
Yeah.
That's a coin.
And Napoleon's a coin, isn't it?
Yeah, is it?
You've used 1 minute,
There we go.
and you've got 3 attempts.
Omar.
Who's Omar?
The only one I can think of was from, what's his name?
The Wire.
The Wire.
Yeah. Can't give any...
We've still got this crime things, though, haven't
Okay.
we? So one of the nominees.
Well, there's crime ones and there's true stories ones.
Zodiac Blow, Precious Serpico Buster,
Yeah, which-
Melody Moses Omar Not.
I don't
Not that I'm aware of,
What
no.
possible set are they making? We can't afford to.
No.
You've got a minute left.
Blue one.
So,
Radio. Precious Mackenzie.
Bus Douglas. No.
We don't. Which one's not? Precious is not crime particularly, though, is it?
No, it's a true story, though. So I don't know whether Serpico necessarily is a true story.
You've got 30 seconds. That's it. You've solved the wall. Well done. 4 points then for the groups. What about the connections? Pius VI, King Farouk, Idi Amin, James II. I want nice, precise answers.
They all died in exile.
They all died in exile, that's what I wanted to hear. Next group, Napoleon, Sequin, Double Eagle, Aureus.
Coins, valuable gold coins.
They're all types of gold coin. The Napoleon you didn't recognise. It's a French one, it was worth 20 francs. And the next one, Zodiac, Buster, Blow, Serpico.
Crime movies
True crime.
based on
but
true stories.
Crime films based on true crimes. Can you tell me the crimes or the criminals?
Buster Edwards was the great train
Train
robber.
robber.
Yeah, one was some
Serpico was a true life detective in New York.
Zodiac.
He was a policeman, he sort of blew the whistle on corruption. That was
Zodiac was a serial killer in California, I think. Was it?
Zodiac, the Zodiac Killer, that's absolutely right. And Blow?
Something to do with drug importing, I think.
Blow was about the cocaine market in the 1970s.
Okay.
All films based on true crime. And the last group, Melody, Precious, Moses and Omar.
We'll say characters from The Wire.
That's so beautifully close and yet so incredibly far away.
Yeah.
They are characters from Come Fly With Me, the Matt Lucas and David Walliams spoof
Okay, yeah.
airline
Pretty much on the
stewards.
same level, I would think.
It's a similar tone to The Wire,
yeah.
but I'm saying it's different because, you know, it's a British show.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nevertheless, it's an excellent score for the final. You found the 4 groups. You told me 3 connections. That's a total of 7. Let's bring back the Antiquarians and see what they can do with the connecting wall. It'll be equally difficult, but it will still feature 16 jumbled-up clues, which they must sort back into 4 groups. OK, Antiquarians, it's the water wall for you. You've got 2.5 minutes to solve it, starting now.
Okay, car wash is a dance.
Foxing is that like when cloth wears away?
Caryatid is a statue.
Caryatid is a statue, yeah, it's a type of...
Dr. B. Pelasco statue. Imagine Ada you have in books, on the side of books.
Obviously, that's not
Bookworm.
Dr. B.
Bookworm.
Ching.
Something that eats books.
Dog-eared books. Dog-ears and books.
Yeah, try those, try those.
Oh yeah, dog-eared will be
bookworm.
the same as foxing then, because that's another word for wearing away.
What else might you do in a book? What's a pelote? I love these words. Caryatid is a statue.
Right.
Pilates is an architect.
Remote control.
Pilotti, is that a name
that
of a
person?
font or?
Are these characters in something like Dr. B. Ching, remote
Oh,
control,
he's-
Superfly?
They do
Who's
sound
Foxy
like they're
Brown?
from a
Foxy Brown's a
film.
character in something.
Oh,
Shaft is as well.
Car Wash is the song. Is that in that film?
Car Wash. What else is this song? I think it is too.
there we
Okay,
go.
they're characters in something.
I think they're songs. but
Okay.
Used a minute.
What's foxing?
Dog-eared and foxing. It's if something starts to fray at the edges.
Okay. Some they do damages to different things.
Yeah,
different
dog-eared
books.
as well.
Okay, right. That's a statue.
Yeah, try Pilotti.
It's a statue of a woman,
That,
isn't it?
yeah, it's a statue of a
Statue.
woman. It's used in an architectural kind of standing.
Pilotti. I
Is
think
it
plaster
an
sounds like.
architectural thing? Pilaster is another.
Try plaster and stand.
Okay, well, we only have 3
Oh, yeah.
options.
So what would be Slicker Bookworm featuring remote
Beaching.
control?
And what are they? I mean, are those songs or are they characters in something? I think Foxy Brown is a
I
character.
think they're
in
bands, though, aren't they? Shaft and Superfly. Or kind of nights, anyway.
Car Wash is a type of dance. Foxing. Should we go for stanchion?
Try that.
Yeah.
You've solved the wall. Very well done. With one confident final press, you solved the wall. That's 4 points there, and you can get more, of course, for telling me the connections. Superfly, Foxy Brown, Car Wash, Shaft.
I think.
They're kind of disco things, aren't they?
So go disco.
connection.
Disco.
I think you're a bit young. I think it maybe is a bit before your time. They are blaxploitation movies from the 1970s. Next one. Foxing, sund, marginalia, dog ears.
They're ways that books can be damaged. Or...
That's right, ways in which books can be damaged. We don't approve of that, but I'll give you the point for the connection. And what about this one? Pilotti, pilaster, stanchion, caryatid.
Architectural items,
Is it
or they're sort of
statuary
sculptural things in architecture.
Sculptures and architecture.
terms?
Tell me precisely what you mean.
Well, caryatid is a...
Figures.
Yeah, but caryatid used in architecture is actually not just a figure, it's used to keep something up.
So
support.
ornamental
supports.
architectural forms.
Yeah.
We're all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah.
You fumbled your way towards some sort of an answer that I'll accept. They are architectural supports. And the last one, slicker, bookworm, Dr. B. Ching, remote controller.
I think they're villains.
They're the fictional villains.
All villains. I suppose in a way they are all villains. They are columnists in Private Eye. Satirical columnists.
Of course.
Well, you're going to get 4 points for the groups that you found and 2 extra bonus points for the connections. That's a total of 6. Let's see what it does to the scores going into round 4. The Antiquarians have got 14 points, but the Analysts are ahead with 17. Just a 3-point gap then as we go into the missing vowels round. This is where the championship will be decided. Fingers on buzzers, teams. The first category are all oxymorons. Analysts.
Definite maybe.
Correct. Analysts.
Open secret.
Correct. Analysts.
Resident alien.
Correct. Don't know this one. It's exact estimate. Next category, strategies. Analysts.
Queen's sacrifice.
In chess, correct. Analysts.
Mutual assured destruction.
Nuclear politics, correct. More obscure this one. It's a cake cutting strategy. I cut, you choose. Next clue. Analysts.
Faint.
In military tactics, correct. Next category, 15-letter words. Analysts.
Entrepreneurial.
Yes, it is. Analysts.
Ophthalmologist.
Correct. That final clue is unascertainable, but I think the result might not be. In second place, very creditable result, not easy on this show, with 14 points, it's the Antiquarians. But the winners and new champions of Only Connect with 25 points, it's the Analysts. Very well done, Analysts. You're going to get a beautiful trophy to take home. And well done to you too, Antiquarians. Really good result. You've been a brilliant team. And it's all over. The main tournament is finished. Still a few specials to come. But for tonight, all that remains is our multi-million-pound closing ceremony. Always the best bit. Goodbye.
You can hear Victoria Corrin on BBC Radio 4 on Wednesday evening in the show that dares to commit heresy. Her guests, including David Baddiel and Lucy Porter, poke fun at received wisdom and knee-jerk opinions. Heresy on BBC Radio 4 this Wednesday evening at 6:30. Next, here on BBC 4 tonight, Time Shift.